Hello, everyone, and welcome to Reclaim Your Time, learning to be intentional about how you manage your time. My name is Jackie Davy, and I am the co founder and CEO of Purple Tree Coaching and Consulting. Let me start by sharing a little bit about our mission at Purple Tree Coaching and Consulting. We help people work with purpose. And here at Purple Tree, we love coming alongside the individual, the team, the organization to help them discover who they are, what are their giftings, what are their talents, their strengths, those areas that they need to grow into in order to walk more confidently in their assignments, into their calling, into the purpose that they have for their lives. This workshop that I'm going to share with you this morning is called Reclaim Your Time. But why reclaim your time? Why is that so important to me? So let me just share a little bit about my experience with time. And I've been in the journey for a few years now of creating a better work-life balance. And I've gone through seasons where I didn't have any boundaries. I was very much a yes, yes person. And so this topic is very personal to me. And in a little bit, you're going to hear about the things that I learned through a series of steps and practices that I have to help me be intentional with my time. It's been my own challenges, my own area of struggles in my journey to find just again a better balance. I believe that you can never have full balance of your schedule. You can put things in place that help you work for those seasons, right? And seasons are important because it depends. If you're married, if you have pets, if you have children, if you have a business, if you're going to school, if you're retired, empty nester, depending on the season, you are going to manage your time differently. And so that's why it's important to understand that being intentional with your time is identifying those areas as well, those seasons, and knowing how much time you have in those times. So let's begin by asking the question. Recently, I heard from a podcast someone say, the state of your life reflects the way you allocate your time. That hit me. So it's really true, right? How we do our life, how we allocate our time, how busy our schedules are, really reflect how we are spending our time. So I have a series of multiple choice answers here that I want you to think through that question. What is the state of your life, right? Do you feel like your life is balanced, or are you often overwhelmed with your time? Are you feeling frustrated with yourself and then with others? Do you feel unbalanced to the point of burnout? And burnout is something that we hear often, whether you are a business owner, whether you're a professional, whether you're a stay-home mom or a stay-home dad, whatever may be your situation, I don't think any of us are exempt from being burnout. Or do you feel like you have it all under control? I don't even feel like I have it all under control. And I have been in the journey of helping my just find better balance within my calendar. And at times I feel like, yes, I have this. And at times I'm like, no, let me rework this. What am I doing? And but I don't let it sit there. So all right. So with this workshop, I want to give a disclaimer. And I want to bring this disclaimer because I feel like we live in a society where we want to do things quick, very convenient, like microwave, right? We put it in, and a minute later, it's out and is ready to be eaten. So, with this workshop, I want you to understand that I'm sharing steps on my own personal journey that's taking me time. It's been a matter of about 4 to 5 years to get to a place where I have a better balance of my time. And so the disclaimer is that reclaiming your time will take time. That's the first one. The second disclaimer is that this workshop is not a one-stop shop or a quick fix because it's a process. We're in this journey together. And like I said, as seasons change, we have to adjust our time and our calendars and our schedules. But if you want to improve, then you have to put in this work and be intentional about things. All right, so let's get started with our set of steps. So I'm going to share 4 different steps on how to reclaim your time. And my first step is to know how you are wired. How you manage your time is as unique as who you are. You could be putting things in place that won't work for you. What do I mean by this? So the way that I manage my time is very different than you who are watching this. How do I know this? Is because I've taken the time to do some assessments, to do the study myself, to understand that there's different personalities, there's different profile types, there's different strengths, right? Some of us are faster pace and risk takers, and we go, go, go. Some of us are a little bit slower pace, we're risk averse, we'd rather sit in our comfort zone, very status quo, we're very slow to change. Some of us are very optimistic and we think we can do a lot and put a lot into our calendars, and then later on we fall flat because we're just overwhelmed and frustrated. And that was me, right? My personality type is I am very optimistic. I'm very relational. I'm very people driven. And as I said, I was also someone who didn't understand the power of a confident no or even a confident yes. And so I would often fill up my calendar because I wouldn't know how to say no, and not understanding that part of me that I was very optimistic and people driven, or that I often will just go and without really taking the time to think it through, look at my calendar. And so knowing my personality, my behaviors, how I communicate has really helped me in this journey of being intentional with my time and really taking ownership of my time to be, even though still busy, even though we have a packed calendar, it's balanced because it's not only with things that people are asking me to do for them, with things that I want to do for myself and things that are important for me. So there's a series of assessments that you can take. There's tons of assessments, Enneagram, Myers-Briggs, the DISC, and so many others. I recently heard about a color test that is out there that can also help you identify who you are better. And so the resources are endless and just the resources sometimes can overwhelm us. So I would recommend that you find something that is easy and achievable for you, and take an assessment to help you understand who you are, what are those strengths, how you communicate, how do you behave with others. We, with our clients and our coaching practice and in our workshops, we help you walk through an assessment where we unpacked the characteristics, the strengths, the stressors, the limitations that you have in each profile type, and help you better understand yourself. So highly recommend doing an assessment to better understand yourself. That's step number 1. Step number 2 is identifying your core values. What does this mean? What are core values? Well, values keep you grounded and focused on those things that are most important to you. How do I know this? Because I've done this. I didn't have values. Often we go into jobs and we look right at their websites, or we go into businesses and look at, okay, what are the company values? They have values, but we haven't done the work to identify our values. So a lot of the work that I do as a coach, it has to do with the person. It has to do with you first, and then with your business, and then with your job. So I love helping people identify what are those things that are important to them first, because then once you identify what's important to you, then you can make better decisions. Until you do that work, until you identify what's important, what are those values, then most often you are making decisions out of a emotion, out of, a desire to fill a void perhaps, or fear to disappoint others. And so identifying what are those things that can keep you grounded will help you in your journey of making decisions, saying yes to things that fill you, saying yes to things that align with you and where you want to go. So my recommendation is make time to identify your values. Number 3. Actually, not number 3. I want to share with you my top 3 core values so that you can see and just find out a little bit more about myself. So I've done this, identifying my values with a coach, and now I help people identify their top 5 core values. For this presentation, I'm only sharing 3 of my top 5, and these are really those that drive every decision, my practice, and the way that I do life and in my relationships. So my top value, my first one is authenticity. And that just really means being genuine, being real, with my friends, with my clients, with my family, right? It's almost like this saying, what you see is what you get. So it's very much being super transparent and staying true to myself. But this is why values come after knowing who you are, because you need to understand who you are in order to best represent yourself, your true self, not be someone else, or trying to be someone that you're not, or maybe trying to fill someone's opinions of you. So knowing yourself helps you identify those core values that are you choose them, not we talk about the chosen values versus the should values. So chosen values is values that are important to Jackie, not the should values that you should do this, you should value this, right? That are people driven, society driven, culture driven, and a lot of times are driven by our past as well. My second value is love. And this one is just, again, I'm a very loving person. Caring is also part of that. And I'm very concerned with the well-being of others, concerned, with caring for the person, coming alongside of them, making them feel, accepted, making them feel loved. And it just, again, I believe is a nice alignment with authenticity and me speaking words of love, sometimes challenging a person out of love. And as a coach, I get to just, again, come alongside of my clients to help them in that journey of better seeing themselves and helping them fulfill, one of their goals, helping them getting to know themselves better, helping them with core values. And the last one is personal growth. That's a big one for me too. All of these are big for me, but personal growth is, again, I love learning. I am the best student when it comes to sitting in the classroom. I love sitting in the front. I love sitting in the front of classrooms at church. I feel like I easily get distracted, and so for me, sitting in the front helps me with that distraction. But anyways, I'm also very old school. I like learning in a classroom setting, getting my book, writing notes, and things like that. But again, it goes with who I am. So that's just part of my journey. And I not only value my personal growth and developing myself, but I value helping others, equipping others, elevating others, and helping them in their growth journey. So those are my top 3 core values from step number 2. Step number 3 is setting smarter goals. So once you know, and you've done step 1, which is knowing who you are, and then step 2, which is have a clear set of values to guide your decisions, then we can go into step number 3, which is setting priorities and creating a plan of action to achieve your goals. I know some of us want to jump to do that first, right? The plan of action, the goal setting priorities without taking the amount of time that it requires to do steps 1 and 2. But I'm going to tell you, once you take the time to do those steps, your goals, your priorities are just going to come naturally, because now you're gaining insight of how you do things. You're getting an insight of what's important to you in this season. Now you can put together action plans. Now you can set priorities. And so setting smarter goals is something that we can go on. It's its own conversation. There's tons of books. There's tons of, videos out there on how to do goal setting. And so our recommendation with students is to use the SMART goal method. We actually, at Purple Tree, we made them smarter. And in a minute, I'll show you what I mean by that. But it's just the art of goal setting. It really is an art, and it takes practice. And it also takes for you understanding how you are wired also affects how you set your goals, and learning how to categorize them, right? Is it short-term goals? Is it a long-term goal? Is it a lifetime goal? And all of those things are super important for you to be successful. So the SMARTer method, here is a picture of the SMART method and how we added the E and the R. So the SMART method really has to do with helping you have a goal and then putting it through these letters to make it specific, to make it measurable, to make it achievable, to make it relevant, to make it time bound. And then the last 2 that we've added, and we've added those just out of a desire for us that's important to me more so. I love to encourage people in their journeys and celebrate their wins. And so a lot of times when we're goal setting and planning, we don't celebrate the wins. And so encouragement is huge here. How are you going to encourage yourself or encourage others when they have achieved certain milestones or they have hit their goals? So encouragement, adding that into your goal setting and your goal planning is honestly a game changer, especially for those that thrive in, with affirmation and celebrations. And then the last one, the letter R, is roadblocks. Roadblocks can also be risks. So in project management, I learned how when you're planning for a project and you're building a timeline, you have to make sure that you build in buffers for risk, for things that can go wrong, that can keep you from meeting your timeline. So the same thing with goals. I find that at times we're very optimistic and we say, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to start this day and we're going to end on this day and nothing is going to happen. And so what I'm saying here with the letter R is to put in those things that can go wrong, put in those things that can keep you potentially from finishing what you started. And if you take a minute or just to assess, okay, what could go wrong? What can be a roadblock? What can risk me from achieving this? Then you are helping yourself better succeed in achieving this goal. So here's the smarter method that we work with clients to help them achieve their goals, help them setting priorities and creating an action plan. All right, we're getting to our last step, which is step number 4. Be intentional with your time. Being intentional with our time takes time and effort. There's no way around it. It takes practice and it takes commitment. So as we are in this journey of growing, developing, and learning, we have to understand that in order for us to improve, in order for us to grow, what we need to do is really spend some time looking at our current habits, right? If you want to make a change, you have to look at the things that you're currently doing, become aware of those actions. How are you spending your time currently, right? And behaviors that you're right now doing. And then once you gain an awareness of your current actions, behaviors, how you're currently spending your time, then you can put new habits into place. And so one of the recommendations that we make in our coaching practice is to take an inventory of your time. And not only that, but also assess how long your tasks take. With time management, I learned that the biggest struggles with time management is people either overestimating their time or underestimating their time. So if you do an assessment of your time, you can clearly see how long does a task take you. Does it really take you 30 minutes or does it take you 45 minutes? You're maybe allocating 2 hours for this task, but it really is only taking you an hour. So by you properly assessing how long something takes you and seeing how you are spending your time is really going to give you a clear insight. And as an added bonus, you can put in there also what is distracting you on a daily basis. What are those distractions? We live in a world that we have so much external noise, emails, phone calls, text messages, social media, but also there's internal noise. What are those thoughts, those lies, those limiting beliefs, those just maybe dealing with anxiety, dealing with depression that is keeping you from, again, being intentional with your time. So we have to look at all of those things to help us be healthier, become aware, and then create new habits of change. Within the step of being intentional with your time, I recommend that you get a calendar, whether it's your Google Calendar, Outlook calendar, a physical calendar, or utilize a template and just go ahead and print it out. Or you can do it on your computer, but I like pen and paper. And I told you I'm a little old school. So I like to just print it out and then go ahead and take a week and look at your week from Sunday to Saturday or Monday to Sunday and see how you're spending your time, right? Put everything there. Like, okay, I got up, I went for a walk, or I meditated, or I did my devotional, or maybe you get up and you go straight into work. then put that in there, right? Put work, family time, appointment, dinner with friends, school, riding a bike, the gym, whatever it may be. Go ahead and start filling in your calendar, right? The whole week, 7 days for 7 days. And if you're like me, I'm a visual learner, I'm a visual person. So I actually like to categorize everything and then select the color for each category. So work is one category, friends is one category, gym is one category, one color. And so that way, what that helps me, because as a visual person, is when I look at my calendar and I see the different colors, right? Is green overtaking most of my time in my calendar, right? Is it filling it up mostly? Is it purple? Is it yellow? Is it red? And so that way you're on your way to figure out a more balanced calendar. So these are some of the tips that I practice on a daily, on a weekly, when I'm being super intentional about my time, that has helped me. So once you create this calendar to assess currently how you are spending your time, you can do it 1 week, you can do it for 2 weeks, you can do it for a whole month, honestly, because sometimes, every week is different. I'm a coach, I'm a consultant, so my weeks are very fluid. There's some things that are consistent, like my time of picking up my kids, my time of walking, my time of going to the gym. So those could be somewhat consistent, maybe not in the gym, not so much lately, but if you take the time to do this for 2 or 3 weeks, that will even give you greater insight to how you're managing your time. Then once you've done that, then again, remember, you will create new habits for your day, right? By planning your day better, by prioritizing your task, minimizing distractions, and taking mental health breaks. That is an added thing. Honestly, sometimes, again, we just work, we do, and we don't properly build into our calendars mental health breaks to help us. Mental health break can be getting up and going for a little walk, maybe getting some water, even getting some lunch, or sitting and watching something for 30 minutes. That's something that I do because I work from home often. I have to be intentional about stopping and making lunch, and then just kind of clearing my mind during the day so that it helps me be more productive. Okay, so let's do a little recap of the steps that I have taken, that I have learned through my journey that's helped me reclaim my time. Well, those steps are: number one, know how you are wired, know your strengths, know your giftings, know who you are. Number two, identify your core values to help you make decisions according to what's important to you, what things you should do, what things are you choose to do, not should do. Steps number three is set smarter goals to help you be specific, to achievable, to have a timeline. Add in there encouragement, celebrating the wins, and even putting in there risks, roadblocks that can keep you from achieving your goal. And step number four is be intentional with your time. And by just assessing, taking an inventory of your time, what's your current habits, how are you currently spending your time, looking at that first before you make any changes. And so, as you hear it here, reclaiming your time, steps. And these steps can take a matter of months, maybe a year. For me, it's been a journey. I've been practicing and learning these things for over, I would say, 4 to 5 years. It didn't start at year one, but I've been learning about myself and putting these things into practice. It's helped me find a better, work-life balance. And I feel like I have more control of the time that I've been given, because really time is a gift and we should learn how to use it wisely. All right. If you're interested on finding out more about how to do this, maybe you are like, this sounds really great, but I need some help. I need some accountability. I need somebody walking me through these steps. If you're ready to get started, schedule your free consultation with us today. You can either visit our website at purpletreeconsulting.com or send us an email, hello@purpletreeconsulting.com. Thank you for watching Reclaim Your Time Workshop.